Steve Christie of the Buffalo Bills. Those two might well be in the center stage in the main spotlight before this day is over. Stoyanovich before 74,000, the biggest crowd in Joe Robbie Stadium history other than the Super Bowl. He sends a dying spiral kick taken by Kenneth Davis, the Texas Tornado, they called him at TCU, and he comes to ground at the 25. Roosevelt Collins, tackler Jim Kelly in that hurry-up offense. Wolford and Ballard, top and bottom, the two tackles on their way to the Pro Bowl. This is a big, tough line. Richard Hull and Parker as well. Thurman Thomas led the league in scrimmage yards. Gardner the blocker. Lofton and Reed outside. Metzler's the tight end. When they go to three wide, Don Beebe replaces the fullback. Beebe is in there now. Thomas with Kelly, who starts in the shotgun. Thomas playing with a painful groin injury, gains one. Marco Coleman, one of those rookies in Shula's defense, making the stop. Played at Georgia Tech, was a first-round pick, as was Troy Vincent, the cornerback. Over the middle to the tight end, and Metzelars has about 5 at the 31. Lippert Hobley, an extra defensive back, coming up to make the stop.
Dick, one of the things this hurry-up offense with the 3 wide receivers does to the defense, it forces them into nickel. Metzelars, the tight end, has had some big games for Buffalo, but not against Miami.
On 3rd and 3, Kelly. Bad knee and all on the scramble. It'll be very close to the first down. Nose tackle Chuck Klingbeil traversing for the stop, and they will measure.
Dick, I always marvel at an athlete like Jim Kelly, out for 2.5 weeks with a knee injury. The first instance to make a big third down conversion, he is more than willing to run the football for it.
The crowd will tell you on this one. First down. Good spot for Kelly and the Bills, and a very important first down. Don Shula not pleased with where they spotted that ball.
Decent protection here by the Buffalo offensive line. When he pumps it, draws 51, Cox away from the tackle. Kelly more than happy to run up there for the first down.
Thomas. And the brilliant player from Oklahoma State, who for the 4th consecutive year led the NFL in total scrimmage yards, breaking a mark set by Jim Brown.
We were told by Buffalo that Thurman Thomas was nursed this week, nursed along very gingerly. He did not do much running or carrying the ball, just trying to get himself healthy for this game.
He milked out 5 on that first down carry. Wide open is Reed, but the pass too tall. On the coverage, Stephen Braggs. Braggs, 36, a free agent pickup, was signed, released, and re-signed by Miami.
Saw a blitz coming here, an early blitz by Buffalo. Saw Andre Reed coming in motion. Excellent pickup by Ken Hall. Dick, I attribute that overthrow to nerves. Kelly's not played now in 2 weeks. It's his first playoff game.
The screen to Thomas on 3rd and 5. He has the first down and more. All the way to the Miami 41. Braggs made the tackle, 19 yards on the play. Thomas so tough as a receiver.
At Oklahoma State, Thurman Thomas ran the ball so much he had little schooling in catching it. But look at the screen out there. Ballard, Parker, 67 Hall out in front. This guy is so dangerous because there's all aspects of offense. Thurman Thomas is an accomplished player.
Reed and the wide receiver to the 39. A gain of a couple. Troy Vincent stayed at home, came up to make the tackle. Brian Cox to assist. So a little wrinkle thrown into the offensive plan by Marv Levy. Andre Reed, who did carry the ball 8 times during the regular season.
This is a difficult offense to prepare for. The hurry up, the formation, the personnel they use, and the multitude of things they do out of it.
was hit.
Dick, he was not touched by a Buffalo offensive lineman. He comes absolutely untouched. Ballard and Parker, they look inside. Actually, the offensive line was correct. Your pass protection rules go from the inside out. There should have been a hot receiver for Kelly to go to there.
Ninth play of this opening drive. Kelly to the tight end, McKellar, and it's going to be 4th and 8.
Awful lot of man coverage by Miami in this first series. See, he was open. Hobley, 29, was the defender, but again, Kelly just worked hard this week. He's missed a couple weeks of practice. You can expect him to be a little rusty in game situations.
Yeah, but that ball should have been caught. Chris Moore, who had just a few returned on the season. Scott Miller at the 9-yard line. Moore kicked 60 times on the season. Only 22 returnables. Time up. Webb, another Pro Bowl for him. Sims, Ullane, Galbraith, and Dellenbach to protect their crystal. Dan Marino. He has Bobby Humphrey, good receiver, good runner. Tony Page will do the blocking. Duper and Clayton, the Marks brothers, are outside with Keith Jackson. Freddie Banks joins them in the 3 wide. Could be the last time that Marino throws to Clayton and Duper as a package. Strong feelings here that Clayton will be elsewhere next season. What a contrast in crowd noise. Absolute silence from Marino to get off his call. Just a couple for Humphrey against the blue jerseyed Bills. Hansen has really improved from his rookie season a year ago. Bigger, stronger, tougher, right. One of the best on the nose. Bruce Smith, an all-pro. Marcus Patton and the rest there. You saw the linebackers, and there are the secondary as well. Jackson and Darby in the dime. Second down and 8. Oh! Getting a hand on the ball, flying into the picture with Darryl Talley. The veteran Talley, the spirit Buffalo defense. He had studied for this moment.
He drops perfectly. Humphrey does not fool him. That's a big, big play right there. If you can take that play away from the Miami offense, you have accomplished a great deal. The receiver out of the backfield for Miami and Dan Marino is key to their success.
And if anyone knows Marino, it's Talley. This is the 26th time he's played against Marino, going back to 4 times when he was at West Virginia. Marino at Pittsburgh rivals. On 3rd down and 8. Marino wide open his backs, and he has a first down. May have fumbled. No signal yet. Rule, no fumble, and it's Buffalo's ball. Down at the 25. Nate Odoms.
He also made the hit, Dick.
Odoms, like Kelly, a bit upset this weekend because he was not picked to the Pro Bowl. He's the alternate again, and Odoms has had some big numbers.
Banks catches it. Odoms comes from behind, pulls it away, and the 2 coaches told us that turnovers were key. First one goes in favor of the Buffalo Bills in wonderful field position.
Odoms, who played at Wisconsin, had 5 interceptions this year, has had 2 in the playoffs so far, and Fred Banks victimized.
Right. Odoms hits Banks from behind. Banks was looking to make a big play. Never saw Odoms coming at all. Big hit.
Two tight ends. Kelly down the middle. Intercepted. J.B. Brown. To the 35-yard line. Oh, my.
Dick, they ran a double tight end offense with 2 backs, man-to-man coverage. J.B.
plays by cornerbacks. First Nate Odoms, and then the next play J.B. Brown with a reply. On the exchange, Miami gains 10 yards, beginning at the 35. Marino. Complete at the 50-yard line to Mark Clayton, who did not catch a pass last week after 94 games in a row with a reception.
That certainly gets Mark Clayton in the game. If we go back to the interception, too, thrown by Jim Kelly, one of the great things that you'll watch is J.B. Brown is staring right at Jim Kelly. He sees him set up, breaks perfectly on the ball, and thrown. You got to lead that receiver into the end zone, and that interception helps Miami a lot right here.
Nosed into Buffalo territory for the first time, Miami. Bobby Humphrey. Not much inside, a couple maybe. Bruce Smith, one of those in on the tackle, and what a season again for number 78 Smith. Led the team in forced fumbles, 3. Led the team in sacks, 14. Led the team in quarterback pressures, 22. Plus, he was the third top tackler on the Buffalo roster.
And he is paid the ultimate compliment by Don Shula. You have to account for him on every single play offensively.
Close to the 41, shy of a first down. Shane Conlon, All-America at Penn State with a stop.
Watch Darryl Talley here. Here's Tony Pace, known primarily as a blocker, but watch the job that Bobby Humphrey does on Darryl Talley. Talley, an excellent blitzer, and give credit to Bobby Humphrey. Picks up that blitz, so Marino's got time to make the completion. Seldom that you see on a 3-step drop, pressure immediately from the other side of the field, a reverse angle. Watch how quickly the pressure gets there. I mean, he sets, and Bruce Smith is all over him. Again, he gets around Sims, 69, and hammers Dan Marino to the turf.
Buffalo at the Miami 46.
Images. Place. 1, 2, 3, Marino sets. Bam. Bruce, you can't get to a quarterback much quicker than that.
Thurman Thomas after the fumble. He's got 10. He's got over 20 yards all the way to the 22-yard line. Finally, it was Oliver and Braggs in the secondary to stop Thomas. Will Wolford, the Pro Bowl tackle, leading the way.
So many ways they can run this offense at you. This time they kind of run a fold block. Wolford folds around behind the tight end, works beautifully. This is an offensive line that has never really gotten its just due in Buffalo.
24-yard play. Thomas again, ripping up the middle, and is close to another first down before David Griggs can bring him to that lush carpet.
These are big yards for Buffalo rushing. Last week, Miami held San Diego to just 70 yards rushing for the game. Thomas is doing very well here at the start.
They had only 3 first downs to San Diego rushing, and Buffalo already with 4 today. Not much this time as Klingbeil, one of the top pupils of Joe Green, the defensive line coach with Miami this year. He said, I learned more in 1 year from Mean Joe than I did my entire life.
God, they share another thing in common. They have championship rings. Joe's from the NFL, Klingbeil's from the CFL.
Won the Grey Cup. Member of Saskatchewan Roughriders. Thomas hit hard by Griggs. Collier there as well. Third down and 7. Shula, Tom Oliverdotti sent in a couple of extra defensive players. Kenneth Davis comes in for Buffalo. Davis, what a backup to Thomas. Thomas had carried the last 4 times. There's Davis. He had over 600 yards this season. had a big playoff so far.
Green.
To Davis. To the 5, to the 3. That's going to be close to a first down. Good second effort. He was hit at the 5.
Actually, we said at the outset, sometimes you need breaks. Miami defends this screen very well. The screen goes to the outside, but there are Miami defenders out there. Davis takes it straight up the field.
Marv Levy, in his 7th year with Buffalo, looking for 3 straight Super Bowl trips. That's short on 4th down, and Levy says, "Get me the 3." Steve Christie, perfect in the playoffs on 3 tries, missed only 6 all year. And he's brought a long leg to Buffalo as well. Made 10 out of 12 beyond the 40 this season. This one just an extra point.
Dick, this is a young man that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did not, I repeat, did not want to lose in Plan B. He has been a tremendous asset for Buffalo.
21-yard attempt. Lead 3-0. Bruce Smith sack and forced fumble on Marino leads to Christie's 21-yard field goal. Christie with a 3-0 Buffalo lead sends the high end-over-end kick. Aaron Craver, former Fresno State star, he had a big game against the Chargers last week. Arrives at the 26th to be greeted by 5 Bills tacklers led by Pro Bowler Steve Tasker. Now here's the lineup next Sunday, the weekend between the championship playoffs, conference, and the Super Bowl. First you'll see Michael Jordan going to Texas against his Olympic teammate David Robinson and the Spurs of San Antonio. Then battle between 2 of the best in the West. Jerome Kersey and the Portland Trail Blazers collide with Karl Malone, the mailman, and the Utah Jazz. Coverage 12:30 Eastern with NBA Showtime. Marino and Miami's 3rd possession, the previous 2 ending in fumbles. Marino guns it. First down at the 48 to Mark Duper. Bennett and Kelso with a tackle, 21 yards on the play.
Well, the best thing about this catch, Dick, is that now both wide receivers for the Miami Dolphins in the game. Zone coverage by Buffalo. Duper certainly been connected with Marino for the last 10 years in grand fashion. Just finds the dead spot. Marino has time and makes the easy completion.
Duper, 511 career catches coming into the year, 59 touchdowns. Humphrey twisting into Buffalo territory, a gain of 3. In fact, Clayton and Duper, Bob, the value of these 2 Marks brothers for Miami, 150 touchdowns between them here in Miami. That's just regular season.
Marino, Clayton, and Duper have to feel like triplets. I mean, their professional careers have just been so close, but look at the drought for the Marks brothers. That's why getting them involved in the game early is so key today.
Good point. 2nd down and 7. Miami trails 3-0. 4 minutes to go, first quarter. Jackson. Henry Jones drags him down. First down at the Buffalo 38.
From behind the defense, remember the first game that Keith Jackson played as a Miami Dolphin was against the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. Henry Jones, the Pro Bowl safety on the tight end. Jackson has such marvelous ability. Any contact with a defensive back, he always seems to win the matchup.
That was all pro against all pro. Jones, who led the NFL, he was tied with Audrey McMillan, 8 interceptions. Second year, first year at safety, making the Pro Bowl. And Jackson again there as well. Marino deep. Jack Clayton off his fingertips. Covered by Jones and J.D. Williams. Clayton had a shot.
From behind the defense, you'll see to avoid the pass rush of several Buffalo Bills. Watch how closely this comes to being a completion. How about that throw? There aren't many quarterbacks in the game who can make that throw, and Dan Marino can make it consistently. Nice move by Clayton, no problem whatsoever. Dick, I did notice that Keith Jackson, after that reception, went to the sideline.
He was limping to the sideline. We'll try to bring a report on that. Left ankle is what we understand. Bobby Humphrey finds a little crease down to the 32-yard line as they work on that ankle of Jackson.
Farrell Edmonds is now taking his place, but if Keith Jackson has to stay on the bench for an extended period of time, that's a receiver they can't lose in a game like this. The inside of this Buffalo defense, its coverage, is where you want to try to exploit it.
Like so many of the athletes at this stage, a lot of nicks. In fact, Jackson didn't work out one of the days this week with a pinched shoulder. Banks and Martin are in the offense now for Marino and Miami. 4 wide. 3rd and 4. Marino captured by Cornelius Bennett. So Smith and Bennett, names well known around the league. 2 outstanding defenders are making plays early today. And let's see if Stoyanovich goes for the long field goal. Yes.
Well, already this game starting on a different tenure than last week. This is Bennett. Last week against San Diego, no sacks. Already 2 today. You see the twist up front and the sheer athletic ability of Cornelius Bennett. He's by the offensive tackle when Marino steps up. Bennett with the athletic ability to come back and get the sack.
Stoyanovich from 52. He has kicked one 58. Plenty of leg. Good! Two of the league's top kickers, Christie from 21, Stoyanovich 51.
Strong leg. Great concentration. Practices on uprights that are 8 feet apart. Those normal uprights there for the hash marks, 18 and a half feet apart. Look, he even slips and still hits at 51. That's how strong a leg he has.
Amazing. Now the former Indiana Hoosier gets Miami even. We talked last week about Marino knowing time is running out to get back to another Super Bowl, and Don Shula, I'm not sure enough will run out on him. He's here as long as he wants to be, but the man who's been in more Super Bowls than any coach, Shula would like to make it a nice round number 7.
Yeah, I think it's interesting too when you judge the success of an individual. When you look at Don Shula, forget the games that he's won, that's impressive. But the coaches that have been fired in the AFC East trying to beat this guy since he got here in the late 60s is a list of about 40 or maybe 45 coaches.
Well, since Shula came to Miami, 23 seasons now, 187 coaches have worked in the NFL.
Yeah,
he's been responsible for making some of those moves.
He's got several of those coaches on his notched on his belt.
Tied at 3, just under 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Stoyanovich kicking to Lamb and Davis. Brad Lamb, former Anderson, Indiana star, to the 30. And finally bumped out of bounds across the 35. Our overhead shots today on a beautiful South Florida afternoon are from the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes based in Pompano Beach. At the controls, Captain Drew Marshall from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. A day like this, I understand the good captain doesn't even want to be paid. Just loves to be floating up there and looking at the view. What a scene. For these athletes, a long look to the West Coast in Pasadena, Super Bowl 27 on the line. Kenneth Davis. What a backup to Thurman Thomas. He's got 4 yards on first down. Dwight Collier, the rookie from North Carolina, makes the stop.
Well, the thing that concerns you with Davis in there, is there some recurrence of the injury of Thurman Thomas? Ran the ball well, but talking to Marv Levy, now that's a bad sign. When you go to the head coach, he asks, what's wrong? He didn't want to hear anything.
Give him 5 on first down. Reed. And Reed to the 50, but a flag is down. Could be roughing against Miami, as Brian Cox could have hit Kelly late. Flag was right at Kelly's feet.
Don Shula describes his defense.
Roughing the passer, 51, defense, and forced from the end of the play. First down.
Don Shula describes this defense as aggressive, something we've been missing for years. But there has to be a point where it's over-aggressive, and, well, that's pretty close. You know, the defender has allowed that next step. I think if he had gone a little lower, he might have got away with it. But in this league, protecting the quarterback is something I agree with. I like the call.
15-yard penalty to the 35. And Metz Martley, Jeff Cross, the defender, playing inside for the first time in his career. In junior college out at Riverside of California, he was a blocking tight end. Then as a defensive end at Missouri, he was a late pick in the 9th round because he was so small, less than 250. Now he said, all of a sudden, I'm playing inside. Yeah. I got to get bigger.
Yeah, he said, I left training camp with soreness. It's never left.
He said, I still inside. I get hit both sides every play. This is Kenneth Davis, and he has a first down at the 22 of Miami. 13 more yards. Brian Cox, the tackler. Final seconds, opening quarter.
And Dick, they can't win this matchup. They can't allow a linebacker to be covering these running backs out of the backfield. That time, Davis on Cox. Davis will win that every time.
End of one. Tied in Miami. Kelly to the end zone. Andre Reed can't pull it in. From our angle, that looked to be a beautiful throw.
Well, this is the matchup that Buffalo wants all day. You see Stephen Bragg's 36 on Andre Reed. Buffalo believes they can win that. That's a major concern for the Miami Dolphins. The out and up is a low percentage completion. They still almost make it for 6.
Reed comes out slot left, and Braggs moves over to cover him again. Now they're in tandem as Reed goes in motion. Thomas on the screen. Thomas, touchdown Buffalo. "17-yard play. I don't think he was touched."
Beautifully executed, sold well by the quarterback. He looks downfield knowing the screen is coming. Watch 51, Brian Cox trying to fight through there. Again, he's the coverage guy on Thurman Thomas. Beautiful blocking out front by Jip Richer, along with other members of the offensive line. This screen system that Buffalo runs, beautiful.
Steve Christie's try for point. Out of Reich's hold, and the Bills lead it 10-3. Thurman Thomas from Jim Kelly, a 17-yard play against a Miami defense that had allowed only 4 touchdowns in the last 17 quarters. Impressively done. 10-3 Buffalo. Christie spins it high. Aaron Craver. Free ball. And now the officials will have to sort it out. That ball dying in the breeze, what little there is, and Craver misjudging.
Dick, the 2 receivers back there for the kickoff were kind of arguing back and forth as to who was going to take it. That baby bounced about 30 yards, didn't it?
Miami apparently recovered.
It looks like they can't make up their mind who's going to get it. Goes right off his knee. Now remember, Aaron Craver on the injured reserve list for 10 weeks. Last week activated. This week on the kickoff return, but Miami does come up with the ball.
escaping the embarrassment. James Saxon, 22, was one of the key Miami players who deflected the ball away from an oncoming Buffalo special teamer. Disaster averted for the moment. Miami trailing 10-3 from their 23. Batted in the air, intercepted. Phil Hansen, North Dakota State.
Well, he did it all there, Dick. Got a little bit of penetration, got his hands up. Here's Hansen right here, a little bit of penetration and his hands up. He makes the hit and the catch. Now that's some reactions. What's that guy doing on defense?
That's the daily double.
Make him a receiver.
Ball to Buffalo at the 17.
This is something that teams try to do against Dan Marino. Get their hands up, pressure in his face. It's working. And the turnovers are certainly working in favor of Buffalo, too.
3 now for Buffalo, and almost 1 on the kickoff return. Flags go down as Kelly takes the snap. Jeff Cross, 91, on his back.
False start, left side of the line. Before the snap. 5 yards, first down.
That will serve to the crowd's interest that they perhaps helped with that false start. As you see Hansen, a farm boy from North Dakota, make that big play. About 1,500-acre farm. He says, that's where I'm going to go with my money. Put it right back into agriculture.
Guys that size and that weight aren't supposed to have that kind of athletic ability, but you can find them everywhere in the NFL.
Thurman Thomas to the 15-yard line behind Jim Richard. J.B. Brown, the quarterback, makes the stop. And Thomas, in this first half, moving close to 100 yards total offense.
This is the counter. Richard, 51. Parker, 65. Thurman Thomas uses those blockers so beautifully. If Miami can't stop that play, they have no chance today.
Thomas hit at the 15 by Collier, and that'll bring up third down. Thomas already with 91 yards in this opening half. Miami with a total of 70 yards of offense.
And remember, in the 2 games that the teams played this season, Dick, Thurman Thomas had a total of 87 yards rushing in the 2 games.
Trailing 10-3, big play for the Miami defense. Kelly hand delivering the audible. Thomas caught in the backfield. Larry Webster, a rookie from Maryland, a 3rd-round pick, number 79, got him around the ankles.
Dick, I can see why they tried to put in the audible there. The Miami Dolphins come with the 47 defense. Defensive backs all over the field, including here, and they try to run a trap up the middle, but the defensive line does a good job and stops it. They're trying to take advantage of that 47 look. Couldn't pop Thurman Thomas through there.
So here's Christie with a 33-yard attempt, trying to get 3 out of Phil Hansen's interception. Dead center. Buffalo 13, Miami 3. 12 to go in the first half. With Bob Trumpy, Dick Enberg, welcome back to Joe Robbie Stadium. Capacity 74,000. They set a record for a Dolphin game last week against San Diego, 71,000 plus, and they figure they're right near that 74 mark today. Only the Super Bowl a couple years ago when the 49ers rallied to beat Cincinnati with a bigger crowd. 13-3 with 12 minutes left in the half, and Craver will take the touchback on this one. First down for Marino at his own 20. Well, we invite you to be with us tonight on NBC. Our friend Tom Brokaw with a 1-hour NBC News special from hope to history as they follow the road to the White House for the Clintons. That'll be followed by all-new eyewitness video. And don't miss the riveting NBC world premiere movie, Marked for Murder. Killer turned cop, a walking time bomb ready to explode. No man can control him. but one woman can. Marked for murder, NBC tonight. Don Shula not pleased with his team's effort and may feel fortunate to be down only 10, considering the fact they've given it up 3 out of 4 possessions. Marino starts from the shotgun. 4 wide receivers. Batted down again. This time it was Bruce Smith. So they're getting in Marino's face. And that's the key to stopping the quick trigger of the Miami quarterback.
78 on 78. Pro Bowler on Pro Bowler. Smith jumps inside. There's always help for an offensive lineman or any offensive lineman on Bruce Smith. But if you can't get to Marino with that quick release, what these defensive line coaches have learned, get your hands up. Let's knock the thing away. Last 2 passes he's thrown, deflected, intercepted, deflected.
I used to block some shots there in Norfolk in high school when they won the state championship in Virginia. They're to block one against Marino. Has to dump it off, incomplete to Tony Page. And Marino throwing as he was falling. Darryl Talley, the linebacker, on a blitz.
Well, here's the reality for Miami. They have 3 first downs, all passing. Very little movement running the football. Don Shula in Miami does not want to get in a situation where all they can do is attempt to throw the ball. You're going right to Buffalo's strength if all you can do is throw it.
And they have the extra defensive back on. Does Buffalo on 3rd and 10 under the eyes of Darryl Talley. Inside, and then the ball flops incomplete as Marino hit again as he threw. Cornelius Bennett.
And boy, is this a concession on the part of Miami. This is a trick play. Miami likes to run that flanker screen, but this time they run the out and up behind it. See 89, Martin coming for the screen. Pressure again by Bennett on the outside. Marino couldn't even get it out to him. Boy.
Trying to hit Duper on his streak down the sideline.
Miami's already gone to plan B here, Dick.
Reggie Roby, and Miami needs a long one. Oh, just good. Partially blocked by Tasker, I believe. Comes down at the Miami 41-yard line. Steve Tasker. What a little pest he is. The unlikely special team star. You'd walk right by him in the airport at the local market. Look at this play.
First guy that Marv Levy signed when he became the head coach of the Buffalo Bills. He was with Houston. He has never lamented that acquisition. He did get his hand on that punt.
Western. He has 7 career blocks now, 3 touchdowns. He's going to the Pro Bowl for the 4th time because of his superb special teams play. So leading 13-3, Buffalo starts at the Miami 39, and Kenneth Davis picks up around 7 on first down. Boy, the field position for Buffalo in this first half. Their average start in Miami territory. Well, the Dolphins beginning at their own 23.
That's it. Last week, that's exactly what we saw with Miami. They had great field position against San Diego. It's turned for Buffalo already.
It's a 31-yard difference times 4. Davis burrowing to what appears to be a first down inside the 30.
So I guess what we have to say, if you stand back and look at this football game, nothing that Miami had hoped for, planned on, is working, and everything, including even the field position, is certainly in favor of Buffalo.
Now they spotted back at the 30. That may not be quite enough. Chain link. It'll be 3rd down. Tom Olivadotti, the defensive coordinator for Miami. Don Shula feels that this man should be deserving of some attention as a head coach in the league.
Well, last week he was the hero. He said that lasts until Monday morning.
Leading 13-3. A lot of options for Buffalo here. Tricky. That's Davis. Caught from behind. He's inside the 20-yard line. Troy Vincent's speed to make the shoulder tackle from behind.
Dick, you said a lot of options here. One of the things a play like this generally shows is where you feel your strongest offensive linemen are. They run behind House. Howard Ballard at 330-something. Where 16 in Triple E pushed them all over the field.
No huddle. Chuck Klingbeil puts the stop on Thurman Thomas. On first down, Buffalo deep in Miami territory again. It's been their home this first half.
Yes, it has. And you know, you see the bright sunshine here in Miami. You expect when you see sunshine down here, high humidity, very low humidity. This is a very comfortable day for Buffalo to play football here.
Kelly looking for a secondary receiver. Flag down, touchdown to Reed if it counts. Andre Reed, but they'll bring it back, holding Buffalo.
Holding, number 69, offense. 10 yards, second down.
Will Wolford. They don't make many mistakes on this offensive line. He's got the rookie Marco Coleman to cover. Dick, when you look initially here, Thurman Thomas was open, but Kelly's choice is to go for the entire thing. Now you see the right hand grabs a hold of Coleman on the jersey, and that's right in front of Bob McElwee. You see the flag on the ground.
A touchdown denied by penalty. Keith McKellar, number 84, pulled off his stance, and that'll be 5 more against the Bills.
False start, number 84, offense, before the snap, 5 yards, second down.
A little anxious, almost looks like he's turning around to see if they changed the play there.
It did. So from a touchdown erased to now second down and 21 out at the 30-yard line. James Lofton, the veteran from Stanford, who now has 750 career catches in the regular season, tied with his coach Charlie Joyner for number 3 all-time, and has more yards receiving than anyone who's ever played the game. 13-8-2-1.
This is certainly getting repetitive, though. This is another great opportunity about to be squandered by Buffalo.
Thomas into the pattern, but it's to the tight end, McKellar, incomplete. So the Bills, with another golden opportunity on the partially blocked punt, Steve Tasker bring on the field goal unit again.
With the way they've had the field position in their favor, the turnovers in their favor, to just be attempting their third field goal here, you can't miss opportunities like that in a conference championship game, no matter how inept to this point the Miami Dolphins offense has been.
For Christie from Oakville, Ontario, where he was a member of Canada's Junior World Cup soccer team, a little longer this time, 38 yards. Hooked it. No good. Well, there are cheers in Joe Robbie, and there's sighs of relief on that Dolphin sidelines. Down only 10. They could have been blown out in this first half. Been able to establish a running game. There's Wolford, 69, and 84 McKellar. Little distance, unable to commiserate one another. 115 for holding. McKellar 5 for the false start. That took Christie back to 38 yards where he missed the field goal, and Wolford's holding denied the touchdown to Reed. 50 now, 2 of 3. And for Miami, still in the game, despite the fact that Buffalo's been inside the 24 times this first half. This is a key series. Humphrey trying to feel his way for some yardage, but he'll be 4 yards shy of a first down. Third down coming up.
Dick, I think you can even sense from the sideline of the Dolphins here just their choice. The urgency of this particular drive for Miami to establish something. I think Walt Corey feels that, the defensive coordinator, that Shula's got to get his team in the game on this drive.
Humphrey with forward progress to the 27. It'll be third and a short 3. 4 wide. One of those being Keith Jackson. He's the slot on the right side. Underneath, complete to Clayton. And Clayton protecting the ball as Biscuit Bennett rips him down. First down.
Bruce Smith again on the center. This is the double sink. The ends down on the guards trying to put that pressure in the face of Dan Marino, but they go outside. Also had a blitz coming from the outside by Kirby Jackson. Clayton finds a little spot in the zone, makes the completion.
The fourth Miami first down, all passing. Aaron Craver breaks a tackle. Big another. Oh my! There's some heavy hitting by Craver. 11 yards.
Last week he emerged. 72 yards rushing. He weighs 217 pounds. You can see the strength in his legs, and Mark Kelso knows this guy will hit you.
Craver, told you, an expert in the draft. He's got it all figured out the first round this year. And he's happy he's finally figured out what to do right here in Dolphin country. He's been a disappointment till last week. Marino play action, plenty of time. Jackson unable to pull it down. Tally on the coverage.
This is coming right at you. See him crossing underneath, and Tally does a wonderful job of picking him up. Boy, when you've got a linebacker who has vision like that, can see the tight end coming across there. There's just no substitute for that. Ball thrown a little closer to him. I think Jackson makes the reception.
Buffalo 13, Miami 3. First half. Second and 10 from the Dolphin 45. Away from pressure. Jackson! What a throw!
Again, now Miami taking advantage of linebacker coverage on a gifted tight end like Keith Jackson. It ends up being Shane Conlon as he releases from the line of scrimmage, 58. Shane Conlon can't handle Keith Jackson in that situation, and Marino throws it beautifully.
24-yard play, the biggest by the Dolphins today. First down at the 31. Marino now hitting 50%, 7 out of 14. It's also the deepest penetration by Miami. Down by 10. The toss back to Marino, and he can't get it away. Not fooled a bit was Darryl Talley. He was waiting for it, and then Bruce Smith to finish the job.
We mentioned it, sometimes you need luck. Well, Miami calls his plan to a blitz. And if the blitz is not there, Talley is not here to get Marino. Bad luck for Miami. And a good effort by Darryl Talley.
Good players seem to bring good luck.
Yes.
They call out a half apiece. Talley and Smith share the sack. Minus 10 on the play. Bobby Humphrey back in on second and 20. Good protection for Marino. Into a crowd, and Humphrey able to snare it. 3 bills right there, and that didn't give Marino much to shoot at, but he hit the bullseye.
It didn't discourage him from throwing it, did it? This young man with his release And sometimes quarterbacks they fall in love with their arm, you know, and they think they can throw it between fingers, under arms. These guys nowadays, they accomplish that. I mean, you almost needed a ticket to get that ball in there, and it made it.
I bet our guest John Elway enjoyed that. That's the kind of gun that he'd fire through there. Miami, though, 3rd and 15. Deep. Tony Martin. Off his fingertips at the 5. J.D. Williams, the defender.
That is the 3rd ball that's bounced off the hands of Tony Martin. He's got the gloves on. They're probably a fashion statement more than a useful tool on a day like this. Marino throws it pretty darn good, but it is an incompletion.
At the 36, this would be about a 53-yard field goal attempt. Stoyanovich is not on. Roby, who likes to aim for the 10-yard line, doesn't kick for the corner. He tries to parachute it, and he hit this one too hard on the goal line, and it'll be touchback Buffalo, and the net on that one is only 16 yards. So apparently the wind blowing right to left, or Stoyanovich would have tried the field goal. High overhead today, Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. It was 1968 when the Goodyear Blimp Mayflower made its postseason television debut. That was here in Miami down at the Orange Bowl.
By the way, I thought a very interesting note that Buffalo worked out at the Orange Bowl yesterday, and Frank Reich was out there, and he said, "This is where it happened. This is where that comeback win against Miami took place." I said, "Do you remember all of it?" He said, "Every split second."
Only to outdo himself with his great comeback against Houston a couple of weeks ago. Breaking tackles is Thomas. Marco Coleman, number 90, finally brings him down. Marino with a pretty good drive, but the sack on the trick play, and then Tony Martin unable to pull in the diving attempt. They come away empty. Kelly into the flat. The screen to Thomas. Oh, nice open field tackle from Stephen Bragg down low to trip up Thomas just when it appeared he was setting himself to put it in a new gear.
Yeah, I'm not sure that this play is defensible by anybody in the league. It's called a read screen. We'll try to give it to you later, but it was just beautifully executed there by Buffalo.
Kelly just reading a linebacker, deciding whether to throw it on the screen or throw downfield, huh? Here's Thomas for the first down at the 32-yard line. Collier with a stop.
And we mentioned the previous play, so much of this offense involves Thurman Thomas. His threat to do the screen, to run the circle pattern out of the backfield, to carry on the draw, to carry on the counter. He's so much a part of this offense.
And one of the reasons as he grabs Samir is the fact that Marv Levy says he's so bright he could call the plays like Kelly. He knows the entire system. Kelly caught from behind, and oh, you just hold your fingers crossed if you're a Buffalo fan, as Kelly on that bum knee struggling with all that power chasing him down. And that takes us to the 2-minute timeout.
You're sure?
All right, Tom, thank you. International news dulling a bright Sunday here in South Florida. The Buffalo Bills in command of the half, yet lead by only 10. And if you're just joining us, the opportunities have been frequent for Marv Levy's team, but inside the 20 of Miami 4 times, they came away empty once, 2 field goals, 1 touchdown. But they have been the dominant team. 2nd and 11 to Lofton. And Vincent able to get him out of bounds at the 40, where it'll be a yard shy of a first down.
That ball appeared to be tipped. It took forever to get there. This is a simple hitch pass. Vincent laying off told us that one thing Lofton taught him, you can't get up there and hand fight with James Lofton. You got to stay away from him.
He's deceptive, Lofton. He uses his hands very well. He's strong. Flag down as Davis is toppled in his own backfield, but Kelly applauding what he feels is a Miami penalty.
number 99, defense. 5 yards, first down.
Nick, back to that last pass, see if the completion, see if we can pick up where it's tipped. I couldn't see who got the hand on it, but it's going end over end, and Jim Kelly doesn't throw him that bad.
No, that's right. Griggs was outside, and Jeff Cross seemed to be the man pressuring inside. So the penalty against Klingbeil, giving Kelly and Buffalo the first down at the 45. Davis met rudely by Brian Cox, number 51, supported by Klingbeil and Cross.
Well, you never question as a coach a running back's choice. But watch Davis coming this way. If he keeps going outside, I think he's got a pickup. When he stops right there, he gives Cox the chance to make the tackle. Running backs should use their speed to the sideline in every instance.
Interesting, another running play on first down. Buffalo has run every time on first down today. Kelly not taking the slide, defying the defense. He is a quarterback with a linebacker's mentality.
And he's not afraid to admit it to anyone. Stand up in front of you. He plays that way. He wants his toughness to show. I know there were linebackers a number of years ago who said, well, we're going to put skirts on quarterbacks. No, not Jim Kelly.
Who played his college football down here at the University of Miami. Started that great legacy run, at least, of Miami quarterbacks to the NFL.
Recruited by Howard Schnellenberger, and his quarterback coach here was a name, I think, very well known here in the Miami area, a guy named Earl Morrill. This is a guy on fire. I don't know what this guy would do without football. I mean, can you imagine what this guy would do without this game? He would be lost.
That doesn't really tell the story. 2 rushes, 7 yards. What it does tell you is that Kelly, bad knee and all, is here to take his team to the Super Bowl and is going to be defiant of anything wrong with himself physically.
Yes, this was a day he did not want to miss.
3rd down and 5. Miami using the timeout. 1:08 left in the half. It's to Thomas, and he's wide open. First down at the Miami 37. Boy, out of the backfield, gave a little fake inside and darted outside, wide open for 13.
The defensive back falls down. Here's the coverage man on Thomas out of the backfield, and when Thomas runs to the outside, the defensive back loses his footing, turns inside, makes a huge mistake. Braggs finally get out there to assist on a tackle. The linebacker again was Cox. They can't keep trying to do that. This offense will wear out those linebackers in coverage.
They were in San Francisco when Buffalo outscored the 49ers earlier, and they were using Thomas against those Niner linebackers effectively. Great protection. Now the long throw, intercepted. Louis Oliver. Don Shula scolded him last week about his antics after the interception, and so he's much more reserved today. A big save by Oliver, who intercepted Kelly 3 times in the game up at Rich Stadium early this season.
Dick, I think the receiver also makes a mistake here. Don Beebe is the intended receiver, and he breaks inside the cornerback, which allows Oliver, the safety, to get over in coverage. You see there? The fade patterns are designed to go outside the defensive back, not inside the defensive back. He kind of out-tricks himself here. He goes inside, and Oliver's waiting for this one.
Kelly with a career high 19 interceptions this year. Picked off twice in this first half today.
And Dick, the bad news is the intercepting momentum puts the ball back at the 1-yard line for Miami, not a touchback.
Well, they actually put it on the 2.
Okay.
That would make you Dolphin fans feel any better, and Humphrey is protecting the ball out to the 5, and deep in their own end, and time running out, final minute. Don Shula probably doesn't want to take any chances.
But what about Buffalo? Well, they did call a timeout. Yeah, if they can get Christie's got enough leg here that if they can hold him for 3 downs, they'll take another field goal. Man, if they had the opportunities in this first half. You don't get opportunities like Buffalo's had in a football game. On the road against Miami. Goodness.
Jim Kelly after the interception. Well, the one good news for you about Trumpy, I've just gotten word that regardless of the outcome today, you're not going to be assigned to the interview with Kelly after the game. That, for those of you who tuned in late, and there have been false reports that there was a shouting match between my partner and Kelly yesterday. We were there to witness it all. And Kelly was not a happy camper, but it certainly was no shouting. He just has been worn down by the pressure of this week. People saying, well, should you be starting? Should Frank Reich be starting? And Bob Trumpy said your ego is your strongest point, and he took it the wrong way.
I was told him the wrong way.
Told him. And Marino kneels down, and Buffalo looks to the sidelines. Are they going to call a time? Apparently not. That's kind of surprising, isn't it?
What am I missing here? Why in the world wouldn't they? Oh, they're going to let it go and then call a timeout, I'll bet. They got to call a timeout.
Yeah, what good will that do? It's still third down here. So apparently he didn't feel he could stop it enough times to get the punt and still have a one-play field goal try. So this is how the half ends. Marv Levy will be happy in one sense, a very solid performance. He had the better team the first half, a 10-point lead, but it could have been twice that much. There's the gun, the end of the half. The Bills by 10. Now let's join Bob Costas for the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report.
Is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live halftime report. Brought to you by Domino's Pizza, where you always get great pizza plus something for nothing.
All right, so the Bills lead the Dolphins at halftime. We'll get first half analysis from John Elway, Todd Christensen, O.J. Simpson, and Will McDonough in just a few minutes. But first, we'll get an update on the situation in Iraq as we go to NBC News and join Tom Brokaw in Washington. Tom.
He was the last Dolphin left.
Coming right at you. Look at Richard, 51, 69. Great block by 35, Carwell Gardner. Thurman Thomas sets up his block so beautifully. You can't coach it, and he leaves the game. And who is this other guy coming in here? Kenneth Davis? Who's he?
They like to use him on the goal line, and they also like to use the pass to the lineman, Mitch Farrat, who is an eligible receiver lined up on the left side. He has 3 touchdowns this year. Nope, it's Davis. Can he get around the corner? No signal yet. Touchdown. Davis using his speed. He's actually faster than Thomas. In fact, he says the linemen say, slow it up. Don't be quite so quick. Let it set up the blocks.
That little step inside, that little hesitation just freezes the defense, and then it's a foot race with Griggs 92 to the sideline, and the official right there in front puts his hands up. Well, they take out Thurman Thomas, they put in Kenneth Davis, and he makes an all-pro run for a score.
So Mike Williams' fumble on the kickoff return to start the second half becomes 6 points, and here's Christie trying for 7. And it took Buffalo just 2 minutes to get the job done from 24 yards out, although Thomas had fumbled, and apparently Miami had a recovery in its grasp, but Marco Coleman trying to do too much, perhaps, a rookie mistake. Davis leaning across the goal line, and Buffalo leads 20-3. Welcome back, Marco Coleman, number 90. He had the ball there to stop Buffalo and left it behind. So, Steve Christie to kick it off. Williams is going to get another chance on the run. He's toppled across the 25 by Gardner again.
We saw him looking on the sideline. He wants to make the big play now. You see the ball jarred loose. Coleman gets it, goes down. Now, they give him 90 for a reason, Dick. And 90 has nothing to do with getting up and suddenly being 32. So when you get a chance to get on the ball, pal, get on it, stay right there. We'll take possession. You're not going to be a running back.
He's been a top rookie defender. And the kind of talent that now will have to think about the mistake and have the opportunity to make amends. 2 minutes into the second half, and Buffalo with a big lead. Aaron Craver hit by Bruce Smith and Darryl Talley.
Well, certainly doing the Buffalo Bills a favor by running here, but a big part of what Miami does is play action. You have to draw up the defense as best you can to get those receivers open, and Don Shula and Gary Stevens, the quarterback coach there in the sunglasses, you know, we're now at the desperate part of this football game. We need big scores now.
And the Bills have taken this noisy crowd out of the game at the moment. No. Through the hands and almost to Duper. Clayton to Duper. Incomplete at the 45. But it just seems to be every play has a mistake written on it for Miami.
It is not bouncing Miami's way. It has not since the game began. I mean, this goes through a lot of hands here.
Both Clayton and Duper appeared to have a decent chance to pull it in. Bobby Humphrey in on 3rd down and 8. And Miami 1 for 6 3rd down conversions today. Buffalo, by the way, 6 of 10. Bench in motion, 4 wide receivers. Incomplete to Humphrey, and it was well read by Talley. Boy, Darryl Talley did his homework. He seems to be where the ball is on almost every play.
He's backing up the line of scrimmage. They've got 6 defensive backs in the ball game, and with one running back, I mean, Talley's got coverage on that running back. You're going to see him. He's right in front of Dan Marino. See him just sitting there looking, and they try to get it to Humphrey. The toughest part of Darryl Talley's weekend so far has been surviving Bruce Smith's snoring.
Line drive returnable by Roby. The Bills relied on the 3rd kick. That's one of their rare mistakes as just acquired reactivated Chris Hill. Buffalo the best in the NFL at running the football. Andre Reed gets out of the trap and he's going to pick up yardage. Great effort by Reed. He should have lost 5 and he gained 6. Troy Vincent finally got him.
We see another aspect of quarterback Jim Kelly. When this reverse is reversed by Andre Reed, Jim Kelly turns around and says, oh, wait a minute, I'm a lead blocker here. What shall I do? Yeah, I'll get in somebody's way. Pick out a big guy. It's Briggs. Get him on the ground. Little wrong gone for Buffalo today when a reverses and picks up yards.
And bonus personal points to Kelly for the block. Davis met by Jeff Cross up on top, and Chuck Klingbeil underneath. Klingbeil, his mother Nancy here watching and cheering for him today, came down from the cold of the Upper Peninsula in Michigan.
And what was that book he was reading, courtesy of his mom?
The Hammer, Dave Schultz, Boston Bruins. So he's a big hockey fan. He was a defender and a policeman when he played hockey, and Schultz was the ultimate with the Bruins, with the 76ers. Brad Lamb all the way to the 35-yard line before Braggs can bump him out of bounds. 16 more for Buffalo.
Dick, you see this Miami Dolphin defense committing so much right here at the point of attack that the reverses are open. Lamb with excellent speed. Look at he's got Parker out there in front of him. Somehow Parker does not see Stephen Braggs. 16-yard pickup, drive stays alive, and the life and the real drama of this game is draining quickly away from Miami.
20-3 Buffalo with 9 minutes to go. Davis tries to reverse, but not this time. Marco Coleman makes the tackle for a loss back at the 39.
It's seldom that they try just a straight little handoff here to the outside. Normally they try to pull a guy. Wolford there is trying to block Marco Coleman, who for 265 pounds, Coleman is one of the best run defensive ends you can find in the league.
Kelly drills it complete, and it is Andre Reed whistled down those big arm pads. They call him Chicken Wings, is his nickname here with Miami. He uses those as part of his defensive armor.
But in covering Andre Reed, there should be little contact. Reed, a good push up the field. Actually, Braggs plays it pretty darn well. You can't do much better than that with a 7 or 8 yard cushion, and somebody comes flying through there.
3rd and a short 6. Buffalo 9 for 13 on 3rd down. First down at the 19, and a great throw by Kelly. They were blitzing him, and he was throwing just as he was going to have to eat about a 225-pound charge.
And he stands in there. Look at the way he looks over to the left. Tries to get the safety off of where he's going to throw it. Boy, Jeff Cross right in his face. Kelly knows he's going to get nailed. Throws it right between the 8 and the 4.
Make it a 265-pound opponent into Kelly's chest. But Kelly with a first down at the 19. Very impressive Buffalo today. Now it's Thurman Thomas. It's just one Pro Bowler after another on this Buffalo roster. In fact, 9 of them going to Hawaii. David Griggs makes the stop.
Dick, you can begin to see the toll it's taking on the Miami defense when players get up off the field, hands on hips. What is going on here? Jesus, worked so good. Yes, last week, what is happening? There's the hands on hips, certain fatigue, certain frustration now in the Dolphin defense.
Screen to Thomas. The touchdown maker, Thomas, is into the 3-yard line, maybe the 2. Larry Webster saved the touchdown, and a big block from Pro Bowler Will Wolford, 69.
This is the same screen they scored on. The only thing is they didn't have Reed go in motion. It even beats the blitz. So Richer, 51 out there, 69 Wolford. They ran 4 screens in the first half. First quarter, every one of them worked, scored on one, come back to the screen. Boy, that's a play that they looked at this week in preparation for Miami and said, this is golden.
Thurman Thomas with 157 yards of offense for Buffalo today. He has outgained Miami by a bunch. Although Gardner, a rare call, did not surprise Miami. He picked up a yard. Gardner, who had a couple of touchdowns this season but didn't carry, but just a handful, had 166 yards.
This is a position where Mitch Barat, John Fina, number 70, is another guy who becomes eligible. You lobbied for him earlier.
The Pitbull. He wants to be a wrestler after his NFL career. He said, probably, I asked him, good guy, bad guy. He said, with my looks? He has 3 touchdown catches this year. 13th play of the drive. Barat doesn't get a chance. Gardner does. Case back, and he'll take the loss. Collier, Oliver in on the play. 3rd and goal.
This Buffalo offense can do so many things, can it? When it needs to. The drive down the field in little bits and pieces, nothing fancy. They try 2 or 3 reverses. The screen works here and there.
In come Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, James Lofton, and Don Beebe on 3rd and goal from the 5.
The Dolphins counter with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 DBs.
Beebe way out to the right. Vincent on him. And here comes Reed, and they give to Thomas. Oh, look at the move. And they corral him at the 3. It takes more than that first hit to bring Thomas down, and the Dolphin defense, at least a moral victory, brings on Christie for the short field goal. Christie 2 for 3, made his first from 21, then hit a 33-yarder in the second quarter, hooked one to the left from 38. This one right in the middle of the field will be 21 yards. And the Buffalo count up 3 more. Bills 23, Dolphins 3.
Tomorrow.
3-3. They've tried 4 field goals. They've been intercepted twice inside the 5-yard line and still lead by 20. And look at this. They were down 28-3 to Houston after the first half of the first game of the playoffs. Since then, 85-16, they've outscored the opposition. And the defense, since that first half against Houston, has not given up a touchdown. That's 2 full games. Field goal to Houston in that second half, and a field goal to Pittsburgh last week, and just a field goal today. The touchdown by Houston in the second half was Bubba McDowell. You can't knock the defense for that. Yeah. And there is the defense and Bruce Smith.
Yeah, well, it appears when the Buffalo Bills began to have a little trouble late in the season, there were a lot of people who say, wait a minute, the Bills aren't what they were before. They're bickering, they're doing this. As Miami's going to the hurry up here now, but their ability has been underestimated.
2nd and 10, Marino throwing in a hurry. He saw the pressure coming from Jeff Wright. Wright circling on a game around the outside.
They can put pressure. Look, they're still committing 2 guys to Bruce Smith.
Hansen.
So Hansen is in there on the single guy. Just gets him on Dellenbach.
So Marino started 5 for 6 in this game. Has been 3 of 13 since, and he's been knocked around.
And last week, no grass name. They didn't even rush it San Diego.
3rd and 10. Dolphins have shown no offense this second half. And he misses Fred Banks. But again, in Marino's behalf, he had Cornelius Bennett just breathing all over.
Yeah. If Cornelius Bennett had a 38-inch sleeve length, he would have got Marino. He beat the tackle, but he just couldn't quite stretch his arm out to get another sack.
5 consecutive passes hit the ground for Marino, so Roby not having his best day in the punt. He lines it deep to Clifford Hicks. The depth, but also the low kick, very returnable, and Hicks all the way to the 47-yard line. 51 on the punt, 16 on the return timeout.
Where a series of screens has been more featured. You'll see Davis completely. Now Ken Hull, the center. McKellar comes over, and then it's the foot race, and Davis almost wins it. It's so rare to build an offense against the defense on a screen, and it's worked magnificently all day for Buffalo.
Why? Why shouldn't Miami be able to defend it?
Young, aggressive defense across the line of scrimmage. Linebackers trying to cover wide receivers. There are several holes in that defense.
Davis again, as they have run on first down consistently. J.B. Brown makes the tackle, nearly 5 on the play. Make it more than 5. They put up 2nd down and 4.
Yeah, you know, one other factor about the screen, it's almost cruel to a defense. The defensive line rushes past the offensive line. Breakneck speed, all energy expended. The short little pass, they turn around, they got to turn around and chase the guy for a tackle. There's probably no play that wears out a defensive lineman more than the screen.
Offense of Buffalo really is a demon for the defensive coordinator, because you just have to look at your chart, but in this case there's more time being taken by Kelly between plays. Davis tripped up at the 15 where it'll be 3rd down and 2. Now let's walk us through there, Coach Trumpy, one of those screen plays.
We've seen the screen to the outside. This time they come with the middle, and watch what happens when the defensive line come up the field and then suddenly have to turn around and try to get back into pursuit. There's Reed again, drawing a man out of support. Davis sets up, and watch the defensive line. All of them turn around. Now they got to race 30 yards down the field to make the tackle. That's rubbing your nose in it.
Buffalo, final seconds, 3rd quarter. Davis will be close. Klingbeil's had a good game. Makes another hit for the Miami Dolphins. As the final second ticks away, there's the gun on a day in Miami.
That's what Thurman Thomas has with Kenneth Davis behind him.
Craver on the kickoff from Christie. And Carwell Gardner makes another tackle at the 22-yard line. Tonight on the Peacock, here's our lineup, and Tom Brokaw will lead it off at 7 o'clock Eastern. 1 hour special from Hope to History. The Clintons on their way to the White House, followed by an all-new eyewitness video. Then the movie Marked for Murder. Marked for Murder, NBC tonight, a premiere. All of it begins at 7 o'clock. Lewis Oliver in the defense. Bruce Alexander. Hoping the offense can move the ball. They've done nothing in the second half. They start with a penalty. Boy, this is almost embarrassing for Shula and Miami.
Start, number 74, offense. 5 yards, first down.
The entire offense moved except Ulenek, the center. They call it on the tackle, but everybody moved. The center just didn't snap it. Watch them all move. Yeah, look, pick one. The only guy you can't pick is Ulenek.
And he's the guilty.
He's the guilty party.
Miami in the second half offense, total 2 yards. Marino through the hands of Bobby Humphrey. And even that time, Marino having to throw around a rush of 3 Buffalo defenders.
That is absolutely amazing. I mean, this is a potent offense. It struggled in the latter stages of the season, but with Dan Marino and with the weapons he has, and it must be that last week's performance against San Diego was the exception.
That was atypical. They struggled scoring points the latter part of the year. They had 6 touchdowns in the last 6.5 quarters to the offense of the season, 6.5 games of the season. Marino again having to sidestep and finally dumps it to Humphrey. He gets a little running room out to the 26 where Darryl Talley makes another play.
Well, I'm sure Miami will continue right to the line of scrimmage here, go to the hurry-up offense. He's trying to get the calls.
3rd and 6. Jackson able to wiggle forward to make a first down, and the crowd gives him a cheer.
But again, Marino has to get up off the ground. Hansen again, when he flushed him from the pocket, he still got him on the ground.
First down of the half. 13:54 left in the game. Duper knocked away by J.D. Williams.
Maybe he was the secret. He changed his number. He was 31, went to 29. I don't know if this defense has done some things that I haven't seen them do in a lot of weeks. This Buffalo defense.
Boy, they well prepared.
Yes, they were.
And they're getting the push on Marino, and you said it at the start today. That's the key for Miami. You have to give Marino time, and it's been a rare play where Marino's really been able to set, look, and fire. He has had to move, had to be nimble just to avoid the rush. There's been pressure on him all day. Now the screen. They reverse rolls, and Bobby Humphrey gets to midfield in the first down. A middle screen to Humphrey, 16 yards. Odoms made the stop.
Well, it's about time. This is beautifully executed. Watch the center Ulenek take off here. 1,001, 1,002, and then he's out to block. Nice pickup, 16 yards.
Marino forced out of the cut by Smith and throws to Humphrey. And the sidelines of Miami looking for a penalty as both Smith and Mark Pike were rolling into the heels of Marino as he threw this one.
Now look at the way he has to scramble outside again. Again, this is not by design. This is a scramble. Actually, Pike kind of let up on him a little bit there.
Darryl Talley, what a fighter. so far for the defense, which reminds me to wish a happy birthday to the greatest, Muhammad Ali, 51 today. Happy birthday, champion.
He can't be 51 years old.
To the sidelines and breaking away is Tony Martin, and the former college quarterback is inside the 30.
But Dick, did he trip over his own feet? It looked to me like when he broke away from the tackle. Let's see what happens. J.D. Williams. I'm not so sure. Let's see what happens. No, J.D. Williams does make a swipe at his leg and just gets him to the ground.
Oh, Humphrey open with the pass just off his fingertips. Hansen and Jeff Wright in on Marino. Even on the short stuff, Marino, who likes that three-step drop and the quick throw, just not getting a lot of time.
Yeah, and Dick, I think the tone was set in that one play we had in the first half where he went 1, 2, 3 steps, bam, Bruce Smith sacked him. At that point, the clock in Dan Marino's head changed for the day.
And fans will remember the Monday night game when Buffalo won down here, and Miami started just royally, scored 2 quick touchdowns, but at the start of the second half, Smith sacked Marino, and it changed the whole flow of that game.
The quarterback gets that clock in his head as to how much time he's going to get, and they really set a very quick clock on Marino in the first quarter.
Penalty appears to be against Miami. I'm reminded of a phrase John Wooden, the great UCLA coach, used to say to his players: be quick, but don't hurry. And Marino, who is always quick, is hurrying today.
Yes.
Bob McElwee in the white hat, today's referee. And one of his colleagues roughed up on the play. Waiting for backfield in motion. The motion penalty against Miami is the call.
Illegal motion, number 88, offense, 5 yards, second down.
Actually, Jackson had left the line of scrimmage, as you saw, before the snap.
It's hard to tell when the ball is snapped, but he did break across the line of scrimmage.
The Bills in the AFC Championship 3 straight years, and they've given up 1 touchdown in those 3 games. Over the middle to Jackson. And Talley and Matt Darby collaborate on the tackle at the 13, a 22-yard play.
This Dolphin team is not going to lay down. Don Shula doesn't coach a team like that. For the last gasp, they'll give it an effort.
Jackson now leading Miami with 5 catches. Marino intercepted. Clifford Hicks. And Hicks across the 30, picked up at the 35-yard line. Intended for Keith Jackson, and Hicks stepping inside to pick it off, and another big defensive play for the Buffalo Bills, looking to Pasadena.
You know, I think he's just looks a little too good to come into our business. You just stay out there with the Denver Broncos. We enjoy watching you play, John Elway. Nice to have you for a weekend. Don Shula is to be denied, apparently, 4 decades in the Super Bowl. In the 60s as the coach of the Colts, 70s, 80s with the Dolphins, and it appeared he might make the 90s this year. And 20 years ago, that classic unbeaten season. Scott Miller at the 25. That fight makes another tackle on special teams, number 94. They just can't seem to block him. Timeout, 10 minutes, 4 seconds to go.
It was like some kind of bad dream. By the time Dad was finished, I was scared to death of buying a car. I've done this a half a dozen times, he goes. I know how these people operate. It would be obvious this was my first time, but it had to be done. The SS Rosie was sinking fast. So while everyone else was spending money, I made some.
Getting plenty, being in position even to score more, leading 26-3 in a defense that just has been stunningly successful. Clayton with a 11-yard pass out to the 48-yard line. Kirby Jackson on the coverage.
You know, you mentioned the choice by Marv Levy. It was such a quick choice. Once he got a medical clearance from the doctors, it was an easy choice. Look at those wins. Pretty impressive by Buffalo.
Well, the NFC, basically the image around football is that they have been the superior conference to the AFC, but in Buffalo's case, they can say, hey, they haven't beaten us. And 2 wins at New Orleans and at San Francisco are very impressive. We were there for that first game, and then the Saints game was a must, even though they stumbled later in Houston. That reestablished the fact they could play the top teams in the NFC on their turf and win.
I think that Saints game, your point is well taken. That win against that defense and the manner in which they accomplished it, if these guys didn't know how good they were, suddenly they knew exactly how good they were in 1992.
On 2nd and 10. Nice catch by Tony Martin and a first down at the 35 of Buffalo. 17 yards for Martin. J.D. Williams on the coverage. Martin is the tallest of the Dolphin receivers, and they have 6, and he's just 6 feet tall. He played at Mesa, Colorado, where he was the quarterback, 21-3 record. And was a project when he was drafted by the Jets, and then picked up by Miami. Wide open is Martin. Touchdown.
Oh, out of bounds.
Nope, he didn't quite stay in bounds.
Lost his concentration.
Ball was carrying him that way. They moved back some of the photographers and folks on the sidelines to give a little more room than earlier in the game.
J.D. Williams kind of funnels him outside. The safety should come here in a minute. And as he makes the reception, I think it's his right foot that comes down out of bounds. Yes, excellent call by the officials. One of the toughest calls to make in the NFL. Where did you say Martin was a quarterback?
Mesa College.
He may have been a quarterback until he got to round number 13. Now we know he's a receiver. 13 is a quarterback.
It was a good pickup by Don Shula. One of those players that you change position a couple of years and they develop. Marino to Jackson, incomplete off his fingertips, and he saw Henry Jones, the safety, coming up to say hello.
This is generally an ugly part of every football game. You don't want to end the season. You don't want to end the season with an injury. You don't want to face some kind of surgery when the season ends. You know, you want to recover for the next one. And you see Keith looking down the field here, and you know that safety's sitting back there. That's not an accusation. I'm not shortchanging Keith Jackson. He's an all-pro, but, you know, the next thing we got is a 6-month rest. I don't want to spend part of it in a cast. Wish there was some way we could, in football, accommodate the rest of this game. There's no way other than to play it.
3rd and 10, here comes Smith, a screen to Favor this time. And he carries the tackler, Kirby Jackson, close to a first down. They'll spot it at the 26. That'll be shy by a yard and bring up 4th down.
A screen today, not an original idea. Works, but not original.
So on 4th and 1 out of the shotgun, Marino. 8.5 minutes to go. Buffalo 26, Miami 3. That's the first down at the 21. Hicks making the tackle on Clayton. I'll make that Banks with a catch.
You know, you got to feel bad for Dan Marino. There's a certain urgency about this year. Last week he told us, I think this is our best chance to win the Super Bowl. Boy, has it gotten away from him quickly today.
Hansen dogging him on that throw, and Kramer to the 15, a pickup of 6. Marcus Patton and Darryl Talley on the stop. Well, that Phil Hansen has really developed into a defensive threat. I mean, you have the advantage. Bruce Smith makes everyone better, but Hansen, from really a raw-boned, underweight rookie last year out of North Dakota State, and a force this year. Marino to the sidelines. Catch by Duper, and Duper scores. So Marino, in a somewhat empty fashion, ties an NFL playoff mark held by Ken Stabler, 10 consecutive games that he has thrown a touchdown pass in the playoffs. 15 yards to Duper. John Elway was tied with Marino, as was, just Elway and Marino had none. See, you bring Elway in and you just erase him right out of it.
It's not fair. It's just not fair.
We'll have a chance for rebuttal on our postgame report. Stoyanovich, who gave Miami a 51-yard field goal late in the first quarter to tie the game at 3, makes it 26-10.
Well, when this game started, they got both Duper and Clayton involved early, but they have been almost absent. Here's Duper right out here. Just stand out there. Coverage is dropped by Odoms, and then Duper breaks the tackle and gets in the end zone. But I mean, everybody here knows that it's not going to help now with 7:32 to go in the fourth quarter.
There's Hansen again.
Yeah. You mentioned how he's increased his strength. Bill Polian put a clause in his contract that for 15 weeks in the offseason he has to stay in Buffalo to lift weights to increase his strength and his weight. And that farm kid from the Dakotas is learning how to play football from a lot of good people around him.
Gone from corn and oats and wheat to stunts and weights and
sacks.
Harrison quarterbacks. An absolutely glorious day after rain last weekend, rain Friday and Saturday here in South Florida, but for the fans of the Dolphins, the Fins, they call themselves.
Yeah, you see the Buffalo bench. I don't think there'll be a lot of celebration with this victory, The good thing is we're going to the Super Bowl. The bad thing is we've been there 2 years previous and have not played particularly well. 2 years ago, they had the best opportunity to win. Last year, they got embarrassed. Unless I'm mistaken, there's going to be a little more serious look for this Buffalo Bills team after they win this. Onside kick coming.
Good hands out there. In fact, you got Thurman Thomas playing one of the up-backs and Davis deep. You've seen all varieties, loading, overloading one side. This 4-on-1, and now they're going to move everyone to the left side. Stoyanovich. The second bounce is the key. Well, that one didn't bounce at all. In the arms of Keith McKellar, the tight end, and Buffalo will take the ball inside the Dolphins 45. 26-10 Bills and 7:29 left. John Elway has had his opportunities in the Super Bowl and wonder what his thoughts are. And as he can get into the head of Jim Kelly, he'll get a third chance in Pasadena. Will it be Dallas or San Francisco that waits the winner of the AFC? Class of '83 is 0-7 in Super Bowl play.
Well, you had to bring that up, didn't you?
Well, everyone else does. Nobody's perfect.
Oh, you're right, but probably the greatest draft the NFL has ever had or ever will have took place in 1983 because of the red shirt draft. It was basically a double draft. Marino came out. Kelly, Elway, they all came out in the AFC East. John Elway defected to the West, traded from Indianapolis/Baltimore to Denver. Kelly went to the U.S. Football League, came back.
Now with 6:45 to go, one would have to think that Marv Levy would consider using Wright to clean up. Another screen. And Davis right down shy of the 40. One of the few times it hasn't worked.
Yeah, there's Bruce Smith enjoying the mist. Ribs seem to survive. Said it was real painful. Back to your question about Kelly. One, I think this is a good workout for him in preparation for the Super Bowl II. I think Kelly's trying to make his own personal statement here. You want to see how healthy I was coming into this game? I can take every snap of it. Although Wright does have his helmet on.
Third down 7. 6:02, 6:01, 6 minutes to go. They fake the reverse, and Davis keeps and has another Buffalo first down at the 28-yard line. Vincent with a submarine stop. Davis. Boy, what a plan B pickup from Green Bay. Bill Polian. Marv Levy said when he saw his name on the plan B wire, Polian was like a drunken sailor trying to run down the hall and get on the phone and claim it.
Kenneth Davis is one of 12 kids. His parents have been married for 43 years.
And they're watching down in Temple, Texas, Bartlett, Texas. Temple, Texas, Joe Green's hometown as well. And he said, please say hello to him. He was the 9th of 12.
What a player.
105 yards for him today.
Goodness.
Backing up.
Thurman Thomas,
And Cox corrals him this time after a 1-yard gain.
Well, this Buffalo Bills football team should certainly know how to handle all that's involved with the Super Bowl. The hype, the travel, when they've been on the road for the last 5 weeks. And they don't mind going on the road as somebody made up there.
Nah, he's a little, he's a one unhappy Bill. Duper got away from him for that score.
That doesn't look like a team that's enjoying the situation here. I think they came here to make a point. You know, with all that Marv Levy had to go through with Jim Kelly and with Thurman Thomas being banged up and having their problems, they came here to make a point, and they made a resounding point to all of the AFC.
Destiny's Child. Just ask the Houston Oilers. What must they be feeling watching this at home? So close themselves. Frank Reich. I mean, that's Reich was Frank Merriwell there in Buffalo that second half.
Yes, he was. And of course,
and knew how to do it. Knew how to write the script.
And took every part of this beautifully. He's the son of a coach, a retired football coach. His brother is a coach at the University of Buffalo. We keep seeing these coaches' sons appear in the NFL who seem to do the right thing, don't they? Jeff Elway.
That's right. 3rd and 5. Clock ticking away. Kelly using as much as he can. Davis to the 20, shy of the first down by about 1.5 yards. Troy Vincent making the stop. And we're going to see Christie again. So Steve Christie, who knows the way, tries number 6. And this one will be also less than 40. So that tells you something in that statistic alone, that he's tried 6 field goals today. That's the total playoff, but 6 of them today, all under 40 yards. That's Buffalo means Buffalo's been down deep too often. 38-yard attempt this time.
Clock is stopped here. So Buffalo takes a timeout.
And they let it run down as far as they could consume it to 2:41. And now they'll set up the field goal. Well, one of the big plays early. Authored by Bruce Smith, the all-pro defensive end, number 78.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, in a quarterback's head, the clock starts to tick. And Bruce Smith, this is a 3-step drop by Dan Marino. Bruce Smith gets right around Keith Sims, and the alarm sounded for Dan Marino on that play. And from that point forward, he was never really set comfortable in the pocket.
Well, Smith forcing the fumble, recovered by Talley. That led to one of the field goals, but more importantly, you mentioned, just made Marino a different thrower. He was quick, but he was hurrying from that point on. And for good reason. Not only Smith, but others with constant pressure, as Christie has his 5th of this game. And that ties him for a postseason record with Chuck Nelson and Matt Barr. They too with 5 field goals in one playoff game. 29-10, and 2 weeks from today we'll be at the famed Rose Bowl in Pasadena for Super Bowl XXVII, and it'll be Buffalo, San Francisco, perhaps in a rematch, or those amazing young Dallas Cowboys. 3:30 will be the start of our coverage of the Super Bowl. 6 o'clock Eastern time, the kickoff with Fleetwood Mac is going to be part of the pregame entertainment, and that wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns, Michael Jackson's going to sing in halftime.
That's right, he is. He's lost a little weight. He'll put it back on for next season, but Michael Jackson will be there.
And I guess they'll play football as well. We'll look forward to that. Hope you've made your plans.
Or would we settle for a day weather like this out there?
Well, it isn't that way lately out in Southern California. All of a sudden, they want the rain to stop. Gilbert, the third-string quarterback, and Kelly, and it almost looks as if Kelly might be through today.
What a game.
Jim Kelly, I wonder if he'll talk with us now that this one is over. We're going to...
I can tell you that Jim Kelly and I have a date in Pasadena. That's already been set.
Will be part of our post-game report. Mike Williams, who had his problems with a kickoff to start his second half. A fumble that just continued the Buffalo momentum.
Bresnahan over there on the sideline with Jim Kelly. Jim Kelly has given Bresnahan an awful lot of credit for bringing in the running game. We got to find out if there's a question for the guys to ask down there in the locker room, if we can find the guy who came with the idea for all the screens. We got to know who came up with that. It was brilliant, and it worked.
Only two other teams have gone from wild card to Super Bowl. I think there's three. Didn't the Dallas Cowboys in '75 were a wild card, but they had to win only one game? You can add them to that list as well. Bills will give Miami that play and let them go down the field slowly as the clock ticks away toward the 2-minute timeout. And Marino will try to get a play away before the next 12 seconds elapse. Here comes a fan on this field. That's not real smart. And Marino would have been able to get a play off, but with this crowd losing interest with Buffalo's dominance, that seems to be a highlight for some.
Yeah. Where's Mike Curtis when you need him? He took care of a fan on the field.
And they'll give 5 seconds back to Marino, still battling for every chance. Now Buffalo's defense in a good mood. It was smart enough, that fan, to run through a happy defense. Marino takes another look, and it was Phil Hansen, number 90, with an assist from Jeff Wright. And that's the 2-minute timeout. Buffalo on its way to 3 in a row.
Everybody used to come in and say, you know, the R in your sign is backwards. Kids play with the same toys everywhere. People in Japan are no different than the people in the United States, no different than the people in Canada. They want things for their children, and the lower the price, the more they'll buy. I buy the majority of my purchases with the American Express card. It's simpler for me, period.
American Express is welcome to Toys R Us and other fun spots.
Domino's presents something for nothing. Now you get free Domino's Twisty Bread and our free salad when you order any large pizza with 1 or more toppings.
Something for nothing. Really something when you call Domino's.
Those smart folks at Magnavox have asked me to tell you about all their highly intelligent products in just 15 seconds. You must be joking. Impossible. No way. Don't be ridiculous. No, that's it. I quit.
Magnavox. Smart. Very smart. Why would anyone stay in a place where the night lasts for 6 months?
Come on, let me show you where it's at. Come on, let me show you where it's at. Come on, let me show you where it's at.
Hey, Jake.
Got a couple of cold ones?
Hey, guys, it's the Arctic.
Cold Miller Lite, I like it like that. Wow.
Great taste in a less filling beer is pretty important, especially when you have a long evening in front of you.
Pork and Nights is gonna kill me.
Miller Lite, it's everything you want a beer to be.
Welcome back. Buffalo leading 29-10. Just under 2 minutes to go, and the Bills officially represent the AFC in Super Bowl 27. Next Sunday, 12:30 Eastern, NBA. Well, Michael had, 64 against Orlando last night, and David Robinson, a career-high 52. The Spurs
really getting it back together. That'll be part of our doubleheader next Sunday. That's Tony Martin weaving his way out to the 35 on a first down. And the second half of that NBA doubleheader. After the Bulls Spurs, it'll be Portland and Utah, two of the top clubs in the West, will go at it. So NBA in the off week before the Super Bowl. That'll stop the clock with 1:33 to go. Clifford Hicks, the defender. Marv Levy, one of the interesting things he said to us yesterday was, I don't coach don'ts. You come to a game like this, and the last thing I want to do is say, don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. Play carefully so you avoid the turnover. He said sometimes you make your team so afraid that they might make a mistake that's exactly what they do.
And in the case of his particular football team, this today was a display. I said earlier that the Buffalo Bills at times they look like a gang, and they played like a gang today, not a team. They took so much away from Miami offensively and defensively.
Screen, and Humphreys can't bring it down. Bobby Humphrey had it on his fingertips, and the Bills really weren't putting a lot of pressure on Marino, and had the receiver surrounded. Keith Willis was closest to Dan. And our executive producer, Terry O'Neill, with us today. Telecast produced by John Ferratis, the coordinating producer of NFL football on NBC. John Gonzalez is our director. And the rest of our crew, Associate Director Dick Ellis, replay assistants Bill Bonnell and John Gilmartin. And Bondashaw, Tim DeKime, Art Parker, Mitch Keller, Dave Mazza.
There's screens all over the place here now.
Humphrey to the 43, and a rare penalty stops the clock with 1:16 to go. The Old Spice post-game report, and some of those smiling faces and maybe some that are glum as well will be part of our coverage. Jim Kelly hopes to grab him before he even gets to the locker room. O.J. is assigned apparently that responsibility. The Bills make it 3 in a row, only Miami in the early 70s in NFL history going to 3 consecutive Super Bowls. The mood, understandably light on the Bills sidelines. They were confident. We visited with them yesterday. It just exuded a confidence that, as you pointed out, the game really seemed matter of fact. Yes. This was just the way you get up on the board to spring you out to Pasadena.
Yeah, maybe we should have known, too, that the testiness of Jim Kelly was an indicator of just how dedicated they were going to be today to winning this football game.
So after 16 straight wins in the AFC playoffs by the home team, Buffalo has disrupted that. They win at Pittsburgh, and now they're winning at Miami. Humphrey ducking under the tackle of Marcus Patton. Boy, he's going to get a call from his mother, who played linebacker with the LA Dandelions, on that miss.
Yeah, he talks to her every Sunday morning, does Marcus Patton, and they don't talk mom to son. They talk linebacker to linebacker.
He was a 130-pound linebacker in a professional league. 4 years out in Los Angeles with the Dandelions.
He's made a difference in this defense, too. When they move Bennett inside and Patton to the outside as the bomb is unleashed.
It's going to be intercepted. No, and right through Darby's mitts as Hicks actually had gotten in his way. It wasn't James Williams. Darby saying, hey, don't jump up there. I might have picked that one off. So the 4th down pass incomplete, and Buffalo takes over on downs with 35 seconds to go.
Well, we got an early flight back to Buffalo here. Bill Polian congratulating Marv Levy. On the road. Injuries to Kelly, all they've had to survive this week. Yes, sir. This is a profound performance by the Buffalo Bills.
A team beaten a few weeks ago at home in the first round of the playoffs, down by 32 points and only 28 minutes to play, and yet rallied in overtime to beat Houston, then went on the road to beat Pittsburgh, the top record in the AFC in Pittsburgh, and now they've come down to Miami and have shown their muscle again. In horse racing terms, the last 2.5 games, much the best.
Much the best.
Reich did the job for the first 2 weeks, and Kelly today, and the defense was awesome.
Yes,
Marino just didn't have a chance.
Yep. Smothering.
A clear winner in the AFC, champion 3 consecutive years, Marv Levy's Buffalo Bills. Levy being guided over to Don Shula, where Shula will have his chance for congratulations. Shula denied 4 consecutive decades in the Super Bowl. Will think ahead immediately to next year. The 2 oldest coaches in the league, Levy 1 year older than Shula at 64. So the sage leader of the Bills heading west. Let's go to O.J. Simpson.
Hey, despite all the criticism, you came in, you got to win. Critique your performance today.
I want to say one thing first. I want to thank my teammates for hanging in there with me. They kept telling me all week, don't listen to all this bull. You have nothing to be ashamed of. You know, there's only the first time anybody ever had apologized for being healthy, but I'll tell you what, when out there, I think one bad read, that was a long one, it was intercepted, but other than that, my team hung with me, and probably, without a doubt, the biggest win I've ever been associated with.
Do you feel you had something to prove? I know you took off running a few times, that you feel that you want to show the fans that you were happy.
No, I don't have anything to prove to anybody. I think my teammates know what I'm capable of doing. Our head coach knows, and I know in my heart that, I want to do it for not only us, but for the whole organization.
Were you surprised by all the criticism, the talk about Reich should start in front of you?
Well, he had a good game, but you got to remember I played 16 games. But I just want to say, before I forget, OJ, I got to all the people back at camp, and I am too, back here, all my brothers, and we did it by.
What are you guys going to do different? Your third shot at a Super Bowl, you think you learned something from those previous bowls that you can apply to help the outcome become different this time?
Oh, we'd like to win, but, you have to go and prepare for either Dallas or San Francisco. It's going to be a tough one, but, hey, it's our third trip. Just go out there and know what your priorities are. Have some fun doing it.
Congratulations. Save me some time in the locker room.
Appreciate you.
Back to you, Dick.
So Jim Kelly, emotional as expected. You really had to believe he meant what he said. His biggest win in his terrific career.
Personally, nobody ever wants to have their own character questioned.
And Kelly, 67%, 14 out of 21. He said he made the one bad throw and had 1 touchdown pass as well. Our final score, Buffalo champions 29-10. We'll be joining Bob Costas, the Old Spice NFL